What is up, everybody? I am Cortland,
And I am Justin.
and welcome to Better Off Reds, your almost sometimes weekly Reds talk show.
And there's Clark already in the chat.
Oh,
What is up, Clark? How have you been? We have missed you.
And for everybody that's not Clark, our number one fan, be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and your favorite podcasting apps. The live shows normally air on Thursdays at 8:30, and after the show, our recordings go up shortly after that time. So this was a kind of an unexpected episode. It was going to be an episode that discussed not
What if
having
scenarios?
baseball. Yeah, not having baseball.
Yeah, so we sent text back and forth. When should we start the show back? And we thought this would be a good week. And we were like, we'll just kind of recap last year and talk about what's going on at the CBA. But turns out they signed it.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll probably talk a lot about that tonight.
And little did they know, I think they saw us talking about going live on Thursday, March 10th. And they're like, that's got to be the day.
Clark shouting out the Bengals. So one of the last episodes, Cortland and I talked about maybe doing a Bengals podcast, and we didn't do it. I think that's one of my biggest regrets right now because it would have been a fun year to do.
Yeah, we texted about it the whole off season. It was a crazy off season in general for football, but especially for Cincinnati.
Kai Rizzle, y'all are back. That's right, we are.
Y'all are back.
It's been a long time. We've missed everybody. We've missed doing the show. Tonight, it's going to be a little loosey goosey, I think.
Yep.
I've got Twitter pulled up, I've got Reddit pulled up, and the free agency period is now open. Lockout's over. Free agency's open. Hoping we see some signings come through tonight while we're on the show. That would be cool, especially if we got one that said Reds sign Castellanos to a 4-year deal. Will that happen? I don't know. Let's see here.
Watching the intro. The intro. Go ahead.
Intro Clark. To what?
No, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Clark said it's only a matter of time so you guys are Hall of Fame voters. Watch out, Hal McCoy. With the new CBA, the Hall of Fame and or the award voting has a little more weight to it now, which we'll get into that here in a few moments.
Pete Rose.
Yeah. What have you been up to, Cortland? It's been as the kids say, it's been a minute.
It has been. I'm trying to think when the last time we did this would have been. It's
the end of last year when the Reds when we knew that they were out.
Right, when the season was over. Nothing really. Still teaching. I have another child on the way.
And you're naming him Brooks 2.
Yes, Brooks 2.
The sequel.
Yes.
Cool. I thought that was an interesting choice.
So come later this year, I'll probably be a lot busier than I am right now because my first son, he's pretty well behaved and goes to bed at a decent time. So we couldn't ask for better. So he's making it easy on me tonight because he's already been in bed for like an hour. So last year, he was going to bed after we started the show. So that'll probably pick back up here in a couple months or so. But yeah, other than that, nothing really. Just same old, same old. What about you?
We moved, bought a house.
Oh, yeah.
It's been tiresome. I'm tired.
I
bet. Just that and waiting for baseball. I got opening day tickets this year. Then opening day got pushed back, and now opening day, the Reds aren't even at home. Had opening day tickets in 2020, and COVID ruined everything. So I think I'm going to stop buying opening day tickets.
Yeah,
because it either leads to a global pandemic or a lockout.
Right.
So it's not worth it, especially the pandemic part. Just not worth it.
Right.
Other than that, though, not a whole lot.
You were mentioning something about the last time the Reds did not play on an opening day.
Or
at home on an opening day.
Yeah. So a Redditor named an Ohioan Redditor points out the Cincinnati Reds will start their first game of the season on the road. The last time this happened was 1990 when they won their last World Series.
Yup.
Now, I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not a bettor or anything like that. But if I had to, guess, I'd say they're going to win the World Series.
Yeah, we can. We're not going to do bold predictions this episode just because we're mainly
preparing them,
discussing. But that might be a top one right there.
That's a pretty bold prediction. Yeah. But with some changes to the CBA, who knows?
Yeah, you never know. Free agency tonight, they can just make a splash.
Yeah, Clark says his daughter wants to let us know that she is up and loving you guys again.
All right.
We are glad you're watching. Hope you all enjoy the show. So you want to jump right into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement between the owners and the players has finally come. The lockout's come to an end. They've signed a new deal, and basically at the end of the last season, the owners locked the players out because in '94, I believe it was, they didn't lock them out during a dispute, and then the players just said, "You know what? We're not going to play anymore. Good luck." So to keep that from happening, the owners then got ahead of things, locked them out. And that's where we've been. So they said they did it because they wanted to create a sense of urgency. And so they were so urgent that the owners waited like 3 months to meet with them. So here we are. After 2 cancellations or delays, they signed a deal today. So a lot of back and forth, a lot of true colors were shown, in my opinion, on both sides between the owners and a few of the players. Max Scherzer, I'm talking about you, buddy. Yeah, I'm officially. I think the Mets are my least favorite team now after today.
Really?
Yeah, I was following it pretty closely, and it was the Mets and the Mets players who were against the CBT. That's the competitive something tax. I don't know. They all have stupid acronyms, and most of them start with CB. But they didn't want that extra tax because then the Mets would be hit hard, and they just spent like $1 billion on Max Scherzer.
Right.
They wouldn't be able to go out and spend $1 billion on like a Freddie Freeman or even a Nick Castellanos or whoever is available. So they're like, well, hold on now. We want our guys to be able to spend that money. So we'll actually get to that. I've got a pretty, I think it's a pretty disturbing point about the voting that went down today. But yeah, they made a deal. They finally made a deal. Actually, I'll go ahead and get to that point. So the committee, union executive committee is made up of 8 players. Okay. 5 of those 8 are represented by Scott Boras, and they are 5 of the richest players in baseball. Okay. So they're like the 1% of baseball players.
Right.
Okay? All 8 of them voted no on this agreement. So, so they voted no. Then all 30 teams have a rep that had a vote as well. 26 out of the 30 voted yes. And I had it here. Who were the 4 that didn't vote yes? The Cardinals were one of them.
Of course.
I know, dirty Redbirds. Let's see. Oh my God, I'm doing that thing again with my keyboard. I was talking to Cortland about this earlier. I'm gonna turn my head over here. I can't remember who has this. The Cardinals. Here we go. It was the Mets, the Cardinals, the Yankees, and the Astros. So basically, the 4 most unlikable teams in the world voted no to baseball. So yeah, that's kind of a bummer. But it kind of showed, in my opinion, because Max Scherzer specifically has been very vocal. He's been criticized by the owners of being kind of a jerk during this whole thing with aggressive negotiation tactics, which, I mean, to be fair, they're probably all jerks in the room. I mean,
right.
Be real about it. But he was always like, we're looking out for the little guy. We're looking out for the little guy. And then today he's just like, I want my team to spend more money than your team, which makes sense. But like, I'm just glad he didn't get his way.
That's their fault. And I don't know if it's anything of like him trying to save some face with the deal that he got signed, because they were crazy to sign the deal they did. I think I mean, he's good.
He's elite. I mean, he is elite. Yeah.
Like he is elite, but like they knew what they were doing before this lockout happened to spend all that money on him, and they didn't have to.
He is 37 years old.
Right. So I don't know if he's trying to save face for the franchise and trying to be like, hey, like this is our chance, because they are projected pretty high in the preseason after making that deal. So if they get other people, then yeah, I could see that them wanting to do that. But I don't know. I saw his deal the other day and I was just like, goodness gracious.
$43 million a year for 3 years.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's ridiculous. And he's trying to and obviously that's like a huge chunk of the money that goes towards that tax.
Right.
So it limits what they can. I mean, I think Lindor is making a ton of money over there. I don't really know what the Mets money looks like. And to be honest, this isn't a Mets podcast, so we're not going to get too into it. But it's just in my opinion, it just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth seeing that like all 8 of them, the people that they chose to represent their best interest, were looking out for their best interest. At least that's kind of how I look at it. I'm not a negotiation expert. I'm not anything.
Right.
So Maybe I'm wrong. Clark also said leave it to those 4 teams to screw everything up. I forgot to mention that before I took it away.
There you go.
But yeah, so players can report to camp tomorrow.
Okay.
The first, I don't know when the first spring training game is. I've heard the 17th of March.
So
just a week from
next
today.
Thursday.
Yeah. And then the first game of the season is now April 7th. And like we said, the Reds will not be playing at home. They will be playing in Atlanta against the World Series champs. Will the World Series champs have Freddie Freeman on their team? Once again, we're not a Braves podcast, so we're not going to talk about that unless he signs somewhere tonight.
It's pretty funny because we were talking about this before we went live. He said, well, what was it that he said? Either the Yankees or Atlanta if he was going to stay.
It said he's choosing between Atlanta and New York, the Yankees. Whenever free agency starts, and the first comment was like, "Buddy, it started."
We're almost 3 hours in. But
yeah, so hopefully,
it'll be pretty
we'll
crazy.
Some moves.
Yeah,
I'm
it'll start to see
surprised.
some names moving around. It'll make it more exciting that the deal was done. I think everybody's probably still got a pretty bitter taste in their mouth that it was held out as long as it was, and
yeah.
But yeah, I'm cool with that. Get people signed and let's make some noise.
So let's see here. So one thing I am thankful for is that MLB does not know what a deadline is, because this whole time they were like, you have until this day or you're not going to play 162 games and you're not going to get paid. And then that happened. And last night they're like, you know what? We're going to give you 162 to make a deal. And then they didn't make a deal. So they canceled more games. And then today they're like, okay, we'll do 162 games. So nothing is lost from a game perspective. Let's see here. We talked about that part. The Rule 5 draft is canceled, which isn't a huge deal. The Reds have picked up a few people over the years from this, but I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
Big deal.
We get universal DH this year, which I know that's a very hotly contested topic. What's your thought on that, Cortland?
I think that it's perfectly fine. I understand where people come from that wouldn't want it because, kind of just takes away some of the aspects of what baseball is. But the fact that it's been done in one of the 2 leagues for a while that made no sense to me at all. So I was completely for it because either you're going to allow it to happen and let everybody do it or don't have it at all. And that was never the case. They just kept letting just one division have it, which makes no sense to me. And I know we talked about there will be more play between other teams now with this.
That starts next year.
Yeah, so starting next year. A lot of changes
for next year.
Yeah, bigger bases. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many times I went to a game. I was like, those bases are way too small. I can't wait till they.
I guess the thinking behind it is it will incentivize people to run more.
Right, to try to steal.
Yeah, because they'll have like that extra inch or 2 on each side.
Yes.
I don't know if it will. I mean,
maybe.
I guess sometimes it's like a bang play.
If I'm running 30 feet, I don't think an inch or 2 is my main prerogative of if I'm going to try to run that fast or not. But either way, but like we were saying, every team will play every team starting next year. So
Clark's against the DH. It seems like.
Okay, let's see.
It says, I quote Crash Davis, there should be a constitutional amendment banning AstroTurf and the DH. I'm kind of with you on that one, though, Cortland. So I guess I kind of oppose Clark on this stance. I kind of am okay with it. Like, it's not something I'm like, oh, we need it, but it's not something that I'm upset that we're getting.
If it hadn't been happening and they just threw it in now, I don't think I'd be that okay with it. But it's kind of like, all right, justice has been served. Everybody gets to do it. And with the new schedule where you get to play every team, it makes more sense.
Talk about that one. Talk about that one a little bit more.
Okay. So what it is,
that starts next year.
Yeah. Starting in 2023, every team will lose, divisional games? Some divisional games.
They're going to cut back on how many divisional games are played.
Yes. And they're going to replace them with tournament or not tournaments, you know what I mean, series with every team. So they will play every team in the entire MLB, which will be pretty every year, which will be awesome because that gives small market teams like Cincinnati a chance to bring in some big numbers. Also could improve attendance, could improve money for the stadiums and all that good stuff. But you also get to see some of the players that you may never get to see unless you travel outside of your home stadium. So I'm looking pretty forward to that. That'll be pretty cool.
Yeah. You want to read that one from Clark?
Yeah, Clark. So Clark says, I do think it should be universal either way, though. It wasn't worth losing the season or baseball falling down in popularity. No, I agree. I don't think that should have been a main factor, but like you said, Justin, it is such a hotly contested topic that it was kind of going to be at the forefront, I think, no matter what, especially where they were trying to do so many different things with this new CBA. Yeah, I agree. I don't think it should be the focus of anything, and it shouldn't take away. But so Clark agrees, kind of.
Yeah.
We're all kind of on the same page.
I was just telling Cortland before we started the show, I was thinking, if Moose and Suarez can get back to like being decent ball players, and we have India, we have Barrero, we have Votto. If you could start all 5 of them on any given day because we have a DH spot, that's a pretty good problem to have.
For how hot
with the DH. If
we were last year too, like if we can repeat that success, we can really benefit from the DH.
Yeah, and that's if Moose and Suarez bounce back. I think Suarez will. I do.
Yeah.
He was a good hitter before he had one bad year. I think he's going to bounce back. That was a bad year.
I'm not as on board with him just because I just thought he should have been better anyways. But the fact that now you have the option to like, all right, listen, like just hit, like don't worry about anything else. If we need to throw you in and you can just hit in the DH, like we can do that. That's a big if, bro.
It is a big if.
It is right, Clark.
I agree. But I think it also will. Extend Joey Votto's career.
Yeah, and with the resurgence he kind of had last year, I think he'll probably be even more excited to continue playing at least for a
take on that longer. David Ortiz role with the Reds.
Yeah,
just pimping homers every day.
Yep, give him a chance to get in, and that'd be perfect.
Clark said he'd like to see a shorter season with longer playoffs. Speaking of playoffs,
yes,
they've been expanded. Yeah, the owners were dead set on getting 14 teams in the playoffs,
which is pretty sweet.
That would have been honestly kind of cool. A lot of people didn't like it. I mean, I think it would be exciting. Players would only agree to it if there were ghost wins. So if the 8th seed was playing the 1 seed, or the 7th seed was playing the 1 seed, the 1 seed went in with already a 1-0 lead.
And
the owners are like, no, that's dumb. We're not doing that.
That is dumb. I completely agree.
Yeah, so they basically can only get it extended to 12 teams. I would imagine 14 teams will come up during the next CBA because the owners really wanted it. They also really wanted an international draft. And at the moment, we're not getting that. I saw that. Yeah, they wanted to get the international draft to replace the qualifying offers because now the way it is, excuse me, is like Castellanos, right? Yep. The Reds issued him they extended him a qualifying offer. And if he accepts it, that's great. If he denies it, which he did, if somebody signs him, the Reds get a draft pick.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's worth a lot. And also that kind of plays a part on the trade market, on the trade deadlines, because a lot of times you're like, well, we've got Nick Castellanos. He's not going to resign. We could trade him, but nobody's offering anything except for, turds. Let's just keep him and get the draft pick because the draft pick is worth more than what we're getting back in trade. So I think we're going to see a boom of trades if that draft pick goes away. Now they have to that's still kind of a TBA. We might get the international draft. We might not. They're going to discuss it down the road. No, I don't know. The players were kind of against it. The Latin American players were against it, and that primarily affects them. So, I mean, I guess they're going to discuss those issues and go from there.
Right.
I forgot where I was headed before this. I kind of went off on a tangent.
I'll jump in. So, also something that occurred was the banning of the shift.
Yeah, in 2023.
Yep, and
someone called Jay Bruce.
I don't like that. I think it's just strategy. I think you were taught your whole life when you played baseball, especially if you scouted the team and you knew how players played, and if they're a lefty or a righty, like that all takes into effect where the ball is going to generally go.
Yeah.
And if you're putting players where they hit the ball, that's the whole point of defense. So, I mean, I get it forced it. I don't know. I guess I get it and I guess I don't, but I think it's just strategy. I don't think it was anything that was messing with the integrity of the game.
I think the thing that that really kind of ruined the shift for everybody was when you would have 5 out people in this one area and or maybe 8 people or 7 people really, and you just have one guy standing off by himself just in case he hit it over there.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be. I don't know to what extent it's going to be banned if they're going to completely ban movement.
Yeah,
or just
I
like
wonder
you have
how
to have
that'll
2
work.
infielders on each side of second,
Yeah,
but they could be anywhere on that
right.
side of second, I think that would be okay. If they ban it completely and they just have to stand there in their designated spots, that's gonna be kind of annoying.
Yeah, that makes no
Um,
sense because the
yeah.
whole it's just defeats the purpose of the game. But yeah, I hope it's not like that. I think what you said that might work the best. Like designate a certain amount of people have to be within a certain radius of something, whether they make it just the infield or within second base or I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know how you do the measurements, but I kind of like that idea.
Yeah. Clark says, "Am I the only person that likes defensive struggles in games?" I honestly really like defense, and I was listening to MLB radio the other day. Maybe it was John Boy talking baseball. I don't remember now. It was one of those baseball things, but they said that home runs are the most boring highlight play in
Yeah,
sports, and that for baseball, the most exciting are the defensive plays, the
yeah,
diving catches, the wall grabs, things like that. And I agree. I
I do
agree
too.
100%.
So going from that, as we touched, just going note wise, bigger bases coming in 2023 again. Expanded playoffs. So why don't you take the next one after expanded playoffs?
Yeah. So this year, where they had to make, oh, hang on. Clark says, I shouldn't say here. Sorry. I just meant people shouldn't only care about the long ball. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So they're going to have to cram a bunch of double headers in this year to make the
right,
schedule work out. And they're also going to have to take away a lot of off days, which is actually kind of worrisome, I think. But they're going to go back to 9-inning double headers. No more of that 7-inning crap. Give Madison Bumgarner his no hitter from last year.
right.
Not a whatever team he's on. Is he on the Diamondbacks now? Where is he?
We'll find that out. You keep
Yeah.
going.
Let's see. And then there's also going to be no runners on base to start extra
I
innings,
love it.
which,
I
yeah, I do too.
absolutely love that.
Me too. Yeah. That's the only one that that's like the biggest rule change that I'm like, yes. Now that being said, I don't like the runner on second, but there were some games when I appreciated it.
Yeah,
When it's like a
no,
10 o'clock game when they go to extras, and I'm like, man, I need to go to bed, but I've already committed. But other than that, I mean, no.
no.
Overall, I'm against that, like them doing that.
Right, because that's the whole. It's like the whole thing. I don't agree with banning of the shift. It's just you play, you play to play. Like, and it was kind of the thing you said. The players wanted uh, a 1-game lead in the playoffs. Like that's just so stupid. Like that defeats the whole purpose. Like anybody can win, especially if you go into extra innings. It should be the entire team can provide it. You shouldn't be able to put like a Billy Hamilton on second base that can steal home without the ball even being hit. Like that's just not fair to me. Even if it was for my own team, I did like it when it worked out because there was a lot of games that we benefited from that.
Oh yeah.
But that to me takes away integrity from the game of baseball.
Yep.
That,
Amir
that's
Garrett superfan Drew says, "Let's
Yeah.
go." MLB is back. Reds are back. I'm back. And Clark says, "Sorry, stole his computer." Oh, I bet that's his daughter. Hey,
Hey.
welcome. So there's also going to be changes to like the minimum salaries. They're bumping that up to like $700,000.
Nice.
That's for the minimum. I think it was like 5 something before.
Yeah.
And then the taxes, we talked about that. That's boring. No one cares about that except for the players and the owners, the billionaires and millionaires, whatever.
Right.
This is going to be one that's going to, he said, I'm glad you remember my hatred for Garrett. How could I forget? This one's going to really annoy people.
Yeah.
It's going to have zero impact on the game, and it's going to be probably the most hated change.
Yeah. Which it's all been going towards this, which it's so weird. Because I was thinking this the other day because we've been just talking about different sports in general since all this has not been started. And it's funny because, soccer everywhere, MLS, Europe,
like
whatever,
across their shirt.
the entire jersey is an advertisement.
Yeah.
And everybody loves it. Like, there's not ever a complaint about that at all.
Yeah.
NBA, when it came, people were like, oh, because I think everybody has that image of soccer that they're like, it's going to be plastered across the entire jersey.
Think more NBA.
Yeah, patch like what?
Connor is in the comments. I'm not going to post his comment.
Let's see.
Clark wants to know, when is the next CBA? They're usually every 5 years. But to get back to what we were talking about, they're going to put patches, advertisements on jerseys. Yeah. And
so the Reds will have Skyline Chili.
Well, we don't know what they're going to have yet. I know in the NBA it's very small.
If they don't, right?
It's like a very small. Just like a word, kind of.
Yeah, it depends on what it is. The Cavs have the Goodyear, like the Hermes shoe with the wings, and that's actually pretty sweet. Like there are some that kind of just meld with the jersey, and you don't really notice them at all. But there are some like the Pelicans. I know theirs is Ibotta, and it's just right there on the jersey, and you're like, it kind of distracts you. Like if it blends in, it's okay, but there will be some that you're like, man, that looks terrible, and I cannot wait for them to replace that thing.
Yeah. Drew has a very important question. He says, my firstborn child is due May 15th. What jersey do they get first?
Ooh,
Well, I think you can either go with Votto, the franchise
tried and
staple,
true,
or India, the
or
future.
India. Yeah, the future franchise staple.
What do you think, Cortland?
That's tough because Votto's not going to be there that much longer. I mean,
Don't you say that?
Got to get a couple years, and the DH might extend that. But I would say Jonathan India or Amir Garrett. I mean, I think that's your only two choices. So I don't think Justin heard me say Amir Garrett.
I did. Jonathan India or Amir Garrett. I heard you. I would say Votto or India.
I would say India. India would be my choice.
I would stay away from any player that might not be on the team by the trade deadline.
Now, if Castellanos gets re-signed, I'd throw him in there.
Yeah.
But we will see.
Oh, he says India is such a fan favorite of mine. Garrett, is this April 1st? Let's see here.
We kind of discussed the next point that the
still no trades. Still no trades. I thought for sure when we picked this,
they don't know what to do.
I know. I thought
they're like,
I was so excited. I was like, we're gonna do this 2.5 hours after free agency starts, and like nothing.
Be lights out. No. It really might just be the thing of like they got it submitted and they're ready to send the offer and they're like, can we do this? Are we allowed to do this?
Are we allowed to sign this? So this is something that so another issue that comes up a lot is service time manipulation. How sometimes, think of the Cubs a few years ago with Chris Bryant, how they held him out of opening day, they held him out the first 2 weeks, and then they brought him up. And the reason they did that is because just by holding him out those 2 weeks, they got an extra year of control on him, which is crappy. I mean, 2 weeks doesn't equal a year.
Right.
But in baseball service time rules, it does. So they've come up with some changes to incentivize owners to not do that anymore. So basically, if your prospect finishes first or second in their league's rookie of the year voting, they will receive a full year of service time. So that's good for them. Yep. Teams that promote top prospects to the opening day roster will also be eligible to receive draft picks with top 3 rookie of the year or top 5 MVP and Cy Young finishing.
That's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet.
That's huge. I mean, I kind of hate that didn't take place before this year.
We would have we would have been racking them up.
Picks. Yeah. So I mean, it's cool. I mean, it's cool for the minor leaguers, the prospects that have potential. It's good for the owners because they don't have to be crappy about it, manipulate the time.
Right.
But it kind of adds this weird responsibility now to the baseball writers who are in charge of selecting these winners. Like it was already a big deal, but now like there's money involved,
right?
And there's draft pick, like there's team
success involved. Run into issues with that because
I mean, I don't know.
That's kind of a potential scandal waiting to happen. I mean, you get a writer that even if they claim no bias, like it could be really easy to throw that vote. I like this a lot. One, because the potential to get picks, but two, the MLB draft sucks. I cannot watch an MLB draft. I can barely follow it with notifications. I barely could care to see who gets who when. Last year, I think was the first time I really paid attention to see who the Reds would get. I knew India. He's about the earliest one I ever paid attention to when they drafted him because they got him so high. There was Senzel, but he was down for forever, so I didn't really care. But no, like it kind of adds some excitement. Drew added that comment. I can't throw him up there, but he said 12-team postseason and DH is going to make baseball a bit more exciting. And I agree with you. And I think the draft will get more exciting as well.
Same.
So it'll be interesting.
Clark said he made his daughter a bet that Castellanos will be gone by the weekend.
Ooh.
To kind of go back to that voting, though, Gregor Chisholm, I don't know how you say his name. He's a columnist for the Toronto Star. He previously was a Blue Jays reporter for MLB.com. He tweeted earlier, I've tweeted about this before, and I'm confirming what I previously said. I will no longer be voting for any BBWAA awards. That's the Cy Young Rookie of the Year, whatever.
Yeah.
Because its members shouldn't have a direct link to contracts. I'm out, and I think every BBWAA member should think long and hard about their role in this. Now, he did get a reply from a guy from Toronto as well, who just said that he's not saying that I agree with it, but aren't their bonuses tied to a lot of those victories and placements? So in a way, they've already kind of had this responsibility, but now it's also kind of like a team incentive as well. So I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know, man. I just don't know.
They didn't put any stipulations on how the voting should be done for
If they did, they're not public yet.
Okay. Then maybe they will. I mean, maybe they're kind of trying to iron out all those tiny details because it'll be hard to take care of all of it. It'll be hard to get no bias, obviously, but maybe they are. Maybe they're trying to give it a chance to see what they can figure out before they make anything public. But
yeah. So let's move on. So Nick Castellanos, Clark mentioned about that he bet his daughter that he'll be gone by the end of the weekend. Right. Is there any chance they re-sign Nick Castellanos?
I don't know. I don't know. I'd like to, but again, opening this up earlier kind of gives them an option to see what else they might be able to get. So I don't know. I loved it last year. I'm not going to say I wouldn't be excited if he got signed again. But at the same time, we're kind of in uncharted waters here. We don't really know what can happen now with an earlier free agency. And if players get taken super fast, other players might come available for less and stuff like that. So I'd be happy. I think it's just 50-50. I just have no idea.
50-50.
50-50.
Crystal ball.
Crystal ball.
That comes back soon, like next month, I think. So him not coming back would free up $16 million on the Bucks, and $16 million should be able to get you some decent players. Yeah. So,
and with the DH, we might not need.
Will they do anything? I don't know. I think he's gone.
You think?
Yeah, I think he's gone. I just don't know where he's going to go. I will say him and Jonathan India have been hanging out in Florida.
Right.
So that's either going to be a really good thing for the Reds or a really bad thing for the Reds in like 5 years. So
yeah, I'm not trying to lock him up for a ton. You know,
I think 4 years is pretty good.
Yeah, but that could be a lot still. I don't know.
3 years, $75 million. 3 years, $60 million. 3 years, $60 million.
Yeah, I like that.
20 a year. Yeah,
pretty generous guy over there.
Yeah. 75. Well, you know, I'll do what I can. Will the Reds trade anyone else away? They let Wade Miley go away for nothing. They traded Tucker Barnhart. We haven't even talked about Tucker Barnhart yet. Yeah. Man. Gone. Detroit Tigers.
To Detroit. At least we're going to see him.
Yeah. Hang on. Let's see here. Clark says, honestly, maybe it wasn't worth it. He had one amazing season. That is true. That is very true. His season before last year, the COVID year.
That's why they got rid of him, because he wasn't really hardly doing anything.
Yeah. And he also says, the way you said hanging out in Florida sounds like they are causing trouble. I mean, they probably are, honestly.
Right. Yeah. I wouldn't put past them.
I would say they're definitely, getting into some mischief. So, yeah, they traded Tucker Barnhart away to the Tigers. And Tucker Barnhart was on the Chris Rose rotation. It's a podcast, if you're not familiar. And it was just like an hour of him talking about the Reds and like some cool stories. And it just made me sad. Like, I'm going to miss him.
It is super sad, but at the same time, I'm happy with Stevenson, so we can't complain. I mean, if we didn't have a shared system last year, I think Stevenson would have been that much better. I mean, he was in for
Remember
a while
that one part where they're both hitting like over 350?
Yeah. I mean, it worked out perfectly. Like we couldn't have asked for it to work out better than it did, but for him to take over, and again, we talked about this last year. Stevenson's build to me, I like a lot better as a catcher, just his height and his athleticism.
He's huge.
He is huge. And he can hit. I mean, not that Barnhart can't, but Barnhart was hitting out of his mind last year, and that's generally not the case. So his nickname was Tucker No Bat for a while. So
Stevenson hit 286 on the year. It's pretty good for a Reds catcher.
And a rookie. Too.
Yeah, and a rookie. Yeah, you're right. Did he? I don't even know if he placed on the Rookie of the Year voting. Probably not.
He was in the early ones. I don't know if he finished in the top.
So Barnhart did finish the year 247, but he had more at bats. He had 348 at bats. Oh no, he didn't. Stevenson had more at bats. Whoa.
Crushed him. Okay, then.
Oh, it's because Stevenson picked up reps at first base quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I'm going to miss Barnhart, though. His defensive ability was just
I know.
ridiculous.
Two-time Golden Glove, right? I think he
I
got it twice, didn't he?
don't remember.
I think he did.
I'm just sad now, man.
No, yeah. He's been a face for a long time.
Yeah.
But hey, Detroit, it could have been worse. And I don't like not root for Detroit. It's just one of those teams that you're just like, hey, you're like.
Well, they have Javier Baez, so I'm definitely not rooting for him now.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Sorry, Tucker Barnhart.
Yeah, you're the enemy now.
Yeah.
I think they could trade Sonny Gray.
You think?
And Luis Castillo's name always comes up.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that. He freaking crapped the bed last year for me.
If there's any value to get from Nick Senzel, which there probably isn't, maybe him, but
yeah,
I think
I get
tapped out. I don't even know if he's going to play. I mean, like, I've heard nothing about him.
I think he died, didn't he? Then he died in the regular season. No, I'm saying like in baseball terms, he died.
Oh,
he went to the minors.
Terms.
But no, yeah, get rid of Senzel because somebody really might give you something for him because it's not to say he couldn't go somewhere and turn it around. That generally is the Reds formula, but.
Said you show up without a single piece of Reds gear on. I always dug out my Joe Morgan stadium
have a United States of America baseball hat on. So the Reds were the first team in America and in baseball in general. So I think this is basically a Reds hat. So I don't want to hear it. Point
taken. So another big news thing dropped. This is more MLB as a whole. And this happened as soon as this news dropped. I said they're going to make a deal this week.
Yeah.
There's too much money when you get Apple involved.
Yeah. Because it was weird because I was watching the Apple's keynote and I saw that. I was like, wait a minute, what? Like, what a weird thing to do right now in the middle of all this lockout. But yeah, you're right. It was one of those, you're probably like, well, shoot. They brought in the big guns. Yeah,
they did. So Apple TV is going to start doing a Friday night baseball
double header.
Yeah, double header. 2 games every Friday for Apple TV Plus subscribers. I will say, think what you will about it. I think it's a bad idea to do this. Honestly,
really?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, because you're taking more games away from MLB TV. You're taking more games away from regional sports networks.
Yeah,
and you're excluding people who just will not pay for that.
So
there's a lot of people who will not pay for that.
You think they're gonna black out regionals?
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be just like if the game's on ESPN and you don't have cable.
Really?
Yeah.
Even local.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. It's whoever's playing on Friday night will only be on Apple TV.
Really? I didn't know it was exclusive.
Cortland is a Samsung user. I can tell. You can always tell. When they are.
I had a Samsung for one day, and it was a Galaxy S2 Skyrocket, is what it was called.
On the 22 now, I think, aren't they?
Yeah, so 20 phones ago. I don't think the numbers go in order, but it was. No. I hated it, and I took it back after one day.
But Apple TV is, I mean, as far as the streaming services go, it is relatively cheap. It's like $5 a month, but still, for someone who may already pay like $100 for cable, if they're lucky, $100 for cable.
Listen. Yeah, give your point. I'll give mine because I was gonna say
an extra $5 just to maybe watch their game on a Friday or every 4 Fridays or however often it's going to be. Sucks.
Sucks?
Yeah.
Stop it.
No, I'm not. I don't think that's a good deal. I don't,
dude.
For fans, no. For fans, no, that's not a good deal.
It's 100% a good deal for me. 1, I already have Apple TV Plus.
Yeah, for you.
2, MLB TV for just your team. If you want just your team for another $20, you can get every team. Just your team, single team price, $109.99 for the season.
But we can't get the Reds on MLB TV because they're blacked out.
Right. So why would I care?
No. What I'm saying is though, let's say like I pay like $100 for TV. Right. And I primarily only watch baseball on it. Like I literally chose my provider based on who had Fox or Bally Sports Ohio. Right. So now you're telling me throughout the season, the $100 service I pay for, they can pull any Friday game from the rotation
for the $100 service. For what reason? If you can watch all of your team's games,
I can't though. Some of them are going to be on Apple TV now.
No, I know. But that's what I'm saying. Why pay $110 or $130 to maybe watch other teams that you could care less about where you can just look up the highlights, to pay $5 for Apple TV Plus and watch your regional sports for the cable price you already pay. Then you're only paying $5 extra.
No, that's not how it's working. I think you're confused.
I'm not confused.
No, it's not. You don't get Valley Sports Ohio with Apple TV Plus.
No, I know that.
You
I
only
already
get the 2 games every Friday, and it's not always going to be the Reds.
I know that, but
So
I'm
confused.
saying,
He
okay,
is a
listen,
Samsung user.
listen. We got to figure this out. Okay?
Okay, let's break it down.
Okay. You pay for MLB TV.
No, I don't. I pay for AT&T TV.
Okay. You have Valley Sports.
Yeah.
Okay. When the Reds play on these Friday exclusive games.
Mine too, Drew. Mine too.
when the Reds play on these Friday Apple TV exclusive games, they will not be on Valley Sports that you already pay for.
Correct. Yeah.
You pay $5 to get a streaming service that has other content on top of it.
Yes, but it's a streaming service. I mean, I do already have Apple TV, so it's not an issue for me. What I'm saying is, though, it might be an issue for somebody else.
So break that down, though.
Yeah.
If you wanted your team, if you wanted to watch the games that your team, because they have that many, your teams don't have that many Friday games that they're going to be on that. There's no way.
Well, every team plays on Friday, and there's going to be
right
several weeks of
2
baseball
out of 30 teams, or 4 out of 30.
I mean, well, we just don't know. We don't know yet. They haven't released the Apple TV television schedule yet for baseball.
So what I'm saying is, it's $5 a month compared to $9 a month, and if you have your regional.
Mark says it reminds me of that scene in City Slickers where Daniel Stern and Billy Crystal talked about using a VCR. I think there is just some confusion here.
I don't think there is. I think I'm getting a great deal because I already pay for TV and have Apple TV Plus, so I get to watch every Reds game all season.
Yeah. Okay. I know. I get that $100 for TV and $5 for Apple TV is cheaper. What I'm saying, though, is it's still a bad move for the fans because you're pulling games away from the $100 service, the $100 cable, not Apple.
I think the $100 service is a joke.
It is.
I think it's a joke. So I think they're trying to kill it without just kicking people off.
What I'm saying is just in the blackout rules. Completely.
That ain't gonna happen.
I know. But no, what I'm saying is, like, think about people who don't have access to high-speed internet, and they actually are hardwired.
They don't have MLB TV,
but they have cable or they have satellite, and they get Valley Sports Ohio. But now they're going to lose Friday night games.
Okay, they're not going to be playing the Reds on Apple TV Plus every Friday night, or their team, or whoever their team is. They're not going to be picking that team for the rest of the season, and they're going to be like, "Listen, I know you're a Dodgers fan, but F you, buddy. They're going to play on Apple TV Plus every Friday, and they're going to be blacked out."
I think we've won this conversation.
This is great. This is great podcast.
This is great content. I think we both are just not seeing the other side of it.
No, I don't want to because I don't want to. This will go on because I'm just waiting for an Apple TV Plus game of the Reds, and it's just amazing, and I can watch it on the same service that has Ted Lasso, and I can just maybe binge that while I'm watching commercials.
Ted Lasso, so good.
It is. So get Apple TV Plus is basically what we're saying. Non-sponsored, but
I love you guys, but Cows could get on MLB on Apple TV by now. All right, yeah, we're gonna table that conversation.
All right. It'll come back up much.
Yeah, it will.
I'm sure.
Anything else you want to add?
I thought I had something. Pitch clock. Did we discuss the pitch clock?
I already have it. I don't need to pay. I already have it.
By the $5. Yeah, exactly.
I already have it.
See,
watch The After Party on Apple TV Plus. It's really good.
Is it good?
Oh, it's really good. It's a murder mystery comedy.
Me and the wife have been watching old Downton Abbey.
Downtown Abbey.
No, Downton.
Yeah, downtown.
Get it right. There's no W in
Downtown Abbey. Jeez.
But no, we pitch clock. Did we discuss the pitch clock?
No, but I honestly don't care about it. It's like going from like 19 seconds to 14 seconds or something. And
I didn't know. I know we talked about it, but
it's just to keep him from goofing off in between for too long and getting people out of rhythm.
Strategy again.
Yeah, I guess so. Do you have anything else you want to add, Cortland, before we wrap it up?
Oh, what a great episode!
It was good.
We haven't even had any games.
Pat ourselves on the back.
Yeah, I thought there would be a lot more rust, and we just shook it right off.
We didn't
even hesitate.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited. I think these changes I know a lot of them ain't going to start till next year. But
that's right, Clark. Downtown Abbey.
Dang it. But no, I think it does. It adds some more excitement to a game that otherwise was kind of stale to me because I'm a fan of a lot of sports, and some of the stuff they did that I just didn't care, and they're trying to remedy some of that. So I applaud them. I'll give them that. What about you?
This is off topic. John Morosi tweeted, "Free agency talks are extremely busy. In words of one agent, we're only 2 hours into the market. Busy weekend ahead. So we're gonna get off of here, and they're gonna start. The first domino is gonna fall.
That's what happened.
I hope it doesn't, but it might. But what was your question, Cortland?
How about you? Anything else to add?
No, just thanks for tuning in. It was really fun. It was good seeing a lot of you back in the chat tonight. And we're gonna kind of play it by ear on the schedule until the season starts. When the season starts back up, we will for sure go back to weekly until Cortland has his second kid, Brooks the sequel. But we might pick it up next week, especially if there's some big moves. But we might do it every other week during spring training.
If anything, it'll probably be more of an up to date on free agency until the season starts, I would think.
Oh, Clark wants us to go on the record. Who is gone by the end of the weekend? Nick Castellanos.
Okay. I'm gonna say Castillo.
Oh, you think they're gonna trade him?
I think they're gonna get rid of him.
Okay. All right. Mark it down, folks. Oh. Right. Drew says Garrett sucks. I'm saying it now as every episode.
All right.
We're gonna get it. He's gonna be on the show this season.
Yep.
As a guest.
Then you can tell him to his face.
Oh no.
That'd be so funny. Oh gosh.
All right. Well, as always, be sure to like, subscribe, follow, share, retweet, do all that cool stuff, and share us with your friends. We will tweet and post on Facebook. He thinks Nick goes to San Diego. I don't know.
I can
see that.
They kind of fell apart last year. I don't know how that would meld. I don't know. That'd be interesting.
It would be.
I don't think I'd care if he went there. It'd be kind of fun to see. But
yeah. But we'll tweet and post on Facebook if we're going to go live next week. If not, the week after we'll be definitely back because there's going to be some games, some spring training games that will have been played. Here we go. We need a bet just like last year. You said I had to wear his jersey. We do. We should do that. We should actually do some season-long bets.
Funny bets. Okay.
Yeah. But like I said, we'll let you all know. If not next Thursday, the Thursday after, and then weekly for sure when the season starts back up on April 7th.
Let's do it.
Cortland, anything else you want to add?
No, thanks. And I think it's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. I'm excited. All right. Bye, everybody.
See ya.